This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Thursday. I'm running a little bit behind. I want to make sure to share this shit out to my Facebook. I've been trolling a dude. Hopefully he comes to my page. Like, oh shit. I can call into this guy's show. Please troll me. Warlord. So, the top story on my list tonight. I will even come over here to the watch screen. Senate passes bill without leave. Top story. Top story. Just because it's not in the title doesn't mean that it's not my top story for tonight. Titles tend to be clickbait. So, what was the title for tonight's show? Trump special master dismissed. Biden appoints non-binary kink party person. See, that story is just nonsense. It's like far, far down the list. But I feel like people will be like, Biden appoints non-binary kink party person. Don't want to click on it. And then you got to do Kanye and Hitler, right? So I woke up this morning and I was like, all right, curious, sir, you want your Kanye update? Bad move on my part. Ida, good evening. Warlord, good evening. Warlord, what were you and Voodoo talking about in the chat long before I ever got here? Do I need to change a setting? My admins. My progressive aunt. Good evening. What is shield mode? The streamer asking his mods, what the fuck is that? I got no idea what's going on. I'm not high enough for this shit. I haven't been up very long, so I don't know. Is there anything in this bowl? What am I shielding myself from? Oh, is it just like when you get a hate raid, you got a shield mode now? Yeah, I'll read that later. Customizable control. Okay. So, shield mode was probably what was fucking up my chat last night? Oh, shit. Said kill all the golfers. Not golfers, golfers. But if I kill all the golfers, there won't be anybody on the... I'm glad the chat works, at least. Mox, good evening. I was quoting Caddyshack. Badly, too. I haven't seen the movie in fucking 20 years, probably. Said kill all the golfers. Good evening. How is everyone? It is a Thursday, so one of the things I need to do is promote my other show that goes on the Friday nights. That being the Friday Night Freak Show. Tomorrow's special guest co-host. Am I on early? On at the right time, or not? Now you're tripping me out. Curiouser went to work at the same time. I'm pretty sure I'm on at the right time. I never know. People are fucking... People told me that they're like on YouTube. Like, Are we watching the Ye in the ski mask? Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're watching multiple interviews. I mean, I was laying here in bed with Smokey at like 6:30. I'm like, well, if I don't get up in the next hour and I don't actually prepare for a show, I could just play the SBF and Kanye interviews at the end of the show. Warlord, I'm sorry. At the end of the show, I'm sorry. But if you want some yay to tide you over, perhaps your meme of the day is also a yay meme. This is how Kanye looked on Alex Jones when he said he liked Hitler. That's it. That's the whole meme. Meat Case, good evening. Well, I gave it to you then. Apparently, he said he is a Nazi. The motherfucker went on Alex Jones and said he was a Nazi. But as I was laying there in bed wondering, like, well, I could just play the Ye and the SBF interviews. Sam Bankman-Fried. I don't even fucking know the kid's name. As I'm laying there, I'm like, I probably can't just play the Alex Jones clip in its entirety because I'd get fucking TOS because you can't play Alex Jones in his entirety on something. You gotta play little short clips and make sure you're commenting. Curiouser was on to me about, you know, you're exploiting somebody's mental health and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I feel sorry for him to an extent. But like she's like, well, he needs help. He needs somebody to intervene. I'm like, yeah, that's not my place. I do the news. I comment on current events in the news, and you can make excuses for Kanye and talk about mental health all you want to, but the reality is this is an incredibly influential person who is inserting himself into the national conversation, having dinner with the former president, and going on political shows making incendiary statements. I'm sure he has mental health issues. But having mental health doesn't cause you to be a fucking raging racist. I think I do better than others. I mean, my Twitch channel isn't all yay every day except Sunday. I love her. I'm not taking a shot at her. She is one of my favorite people, so don't go. I know she's been prone to covering the drama Twitch here lately. Don't go telling her I was starting some drama. But this channel isn't all yay every day except on Sunday. I can't watch her anymore though. Voodoo, good evening. I can't watch her anymore because she sits that way on purpose. Like, I see you, ma'am. I know what you're doing, and like, you're bothering me. Not that you can't sit any way that you want to on your stream, but it's just like it gets me all hot and bothered. Not that like I'm upset and trying to get you canceled. I can't listen to what you're saying politically when you're centimeters away from flashing me. This motherfucker even has a song called Black Skinhead. How has Jay-Z not slapped the shit out of him yet? Also, Simp, good evening. I don't want to do drama, Voodoo. I don't want to do drama. I made a joke about a fellow streamer who I love dearly. Don't go tell her I made a joke about her. Yeah, apparently there's eye holes and he can unzip them. I don't understand fashion. As I was coming on, by the way, let me flip back over here. Our friend Bryson Gray was on a live stream, apparently taking up for Kanye. You know. And this is another. I'm gonna have to get into this again. I'm gonna have to get into the teddy bear thing because that's the big thing right now. Motherfucker still. I'm gonna go back to the teddy bears because man, I've had so many thoughts over that. The titty bears. I'm gonna go back to the titty bears here in a little bit. I've put more thought into it, but I want to see what Bryson's saying right now. Dumbass.
It has no on the. That's why it's narrow. If you haven't, go watch the complete Ye interview. Like I said, He talked about God a lot. He said a few things that was wild, but he talked about God a lot, and it was beautiful. The prayer he did was beautiful.
Dude said he's a literal Nazi. Praised Hitler. He talked about God a lot. You know who else talked about God a lot? The Nazis, motherfucker. It was on their belts.
Real quick, y'all. So
God on our side. This dude making big bucks and he's eating on stream. I don't understand it. This guy is a very pro-gun activist. You're telling me that kids...
I just want to say where I go. I had to go get a Sharpie.
You're gonna tell me that kids are detrimentally influenced. Is that
You're gonna have like 4 signatures on it?
You're telling me that kids can be influenced by a bear wearing something that you would see on an action figure in Hot Topic, or it is nothing that you wouldn't see in Hot Topic. These stupid ass bears. So you're telling me that these bears, just seeing these bears, can have an effect on children. Just seeing these bears can have an effect on children. But you, Bryson, who is a pro-gun advocate, are telling me that here in the United States, where we have a rash of gun violence, where it's something like 30,000 children a year die from accidental deaths in gun discharges. I'm sorry, 4,000. I pulled a Matt Walsh there, didn't I? There's billions of children on puberty blockers. No, it's like 1,000 a year. I was a little off there. It was 4,368. Holy shit. Only 3% of those were accidental. Jesus Christ. They have resting bitch face indeed. I was about to call her a sheep. That might be a young boy, might be gender neutral. I don't want to misgender the child. But like, how is looking at a bear gonna fuck these kids up, but looking at a gun won't? Not to mention, if you want to, like, Balenciaga, and have I been saying it right? I think I called it Balencia or some shit the entire time. I don't know the name of bougie ass brands. I don't care enough. Didn't know their names before the right lost their goddamn minds over this. Balenciaga. Yeah, my buddy was like, Lizzo raps about it. Like, I thought it was like some new slang or something, I guess. I don't know what she's rapping about most of the time. All I know is in that one song where she's like, I ain't fucked Dre yet, or I ain't fucked Drake yet. I'm like, don't fuck Dre, Lizzo, please. And I said Dre like 3 times there, didn't I? Don't fuck Drake. Haven't had enough coffee. High enough for this shit. I don't know what's going on. Drake wishes he was Dre. Indeed. Apparently Dre inducted Eminem into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet because I went to YouTube to watch it after it happened. It ain't on YouTube. It's on HBO. Curiouser watched it the other day, and I caught like bits and pieces. It came in on Duran Duran. I'm like, Duran Duran, one of the most underrated bands of all time. Jimmy Cornette, however, says the best part of the show is Pat Benatar, Annie Lennox, and Dolly Parton. And he seemed amazed by it. He was like, the women on the show were just out of this world, blew the men away. And I'm like, well, you just named 3 insanely talented women. Of course, it's Dolly, Annie Lennox, and Pat Benatar, of course. You'd be hard-pressed to find some men that could blow them away. Sorry. I'm off on one tonight. Yeah, we're gonna watch Ye. We're not gonna watch the whole thing because it's Alex Jones, but we're gonna watch relevant portion. I have this Matt Walsh clip. He had just posted it as I was coming on. I'm like, all right, this is fun for the end. I don't even know what he's talking about. He did, however, once call me a formidable voice in the culture.
JustinFREAKIN, the formidable voice in the culture.
No editing, that actually happened. Matt Walsh is talking about how Joe Biden appointed a non-binary kink party person to some post. Non-binary kink party. Non-binary kink party sounds like fun. I'll come to your non-binary kink party, just saying.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I'm a polyamorous pansexual swinger. I'll do it. Amazon says they will not take down the anti-Semitic film that Kyrie Irving shared out. I can't say the name of it. We're gonna listen to so SBF was on Good Morning America this morning, but like the big interview was last night with the New York Times, I believe, and it went well over an hour. I saw several lawyers say, this is why lawyers always recommend that you don't give interviews. So I'm assuming he incriminated himself. We're actually going to watch the Good Morning America clip because it's a lot shorter. This is the guy that was over the FTX crypto exchange, which I also hadn't heard of until a couple of weeks ago when it crashed. Apparently, Sagar and Jetty lost a lot of money in crypto. Because of course you did, dumbass. There's a pastor that was carrying a cross. Carrying a cross across the country. Perhaps you've seen him before. I believe this dude's kind of famous. He does this every year or some shit. Or maybe it's different pastors doing it every year. I don't fucking know. Weird religious people. He got into a fist fight with a motorist. Has been arrested. Getting into a fist fight. I hope they confiscated his cross. I hope they got a gigantic ass cross back in the evidence room. The Southern Baptist Foundation, I'm saying SBF because I don't remember the motherfuckers. Sam Bankman-Fried. He is nowhere near as cool as MJF, the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Oh, you had sympathy for the devil? You believed what the devil had to say? I love MJF, but my God, is AEW a mess right now. Oh, Voodoo! Voodoo with the banger in here. I wouldn't be giving crosses to the police. They are liable to burn them. Some of those who work forces are the same that burn crosses. Scam, bank run, fraud. Scam, bank run, fraud will also work. Speaking of wrestling, I'm sorry, I'm really on it tonight, aren't I? You guys want some wrestling stories? Kane, the mayor of Knox County, got into it with a county employee. Whole scandal surrounding the firing of this employee Maybe Kane gave him the choke slam. I don't know. Oh shit! I never got around to actually plugging the show for tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Woke Potato, special guest co-host on the Friday Night Freak Show. I was like, send me your logo. He's like, I just use this potato here. And I'm like, So I Googled cartoon vegetable to try to give myself ideas. And then I was like, eggplant it is, motherfuckers. That's perfect. Good God almighty, it's Kane! So, Woke Potato joining me tomorrow night for the Friday Night Freak Show. Asked me what we would be talking about. My response was nonsense and bullshit. I think that sums up the Friday Night Freak Show pretty well. Nonsense and bullshit. Those of you that didn't see the meme of the day, this is how Kanye looked on Alex Jones when he said he liked Hitler. That's it. That's the whole meme. Not really a meme, just a picture. Ron DeSantis has yanked funding from a company that I'm probably going to agree with him on, but not for the reasoning that he yanked funding from them. A little company by the name of BlackRock, who I don't think is a friend to anybody in this country. Sure, he didn't yank funding for them for any kind of legitimate reason, though. Not like we can just like break them up and call them a monopoly. They don't fit the definition, even though they own shares of fucking every goddamn company. You would be amazed at what BlackRock actually owns shares in. Everything from Netflix to Tesla. I think Apple. They are a very dangerous company. The Daily Caller is accusing Katie Hobbs, the governor-elect in Arizona, of wanting to have the county board of supervisors arrested and prosecuted. But here's the thing. The Daily Caller is correct that Katie Hobbs did indeed want to arrest and have the county board of supervisors prosecuted. I don't know that she wanted to. That was put out there as a possible penalty because that's the penalty for what they did. Literally. They broke the law. Right-wingers. God damn. Trump's defense lawyers in the case against the Trump org were rebuked for their dumbass arguments. Special Master Raymond Deary has been dismissed. DOJ taking back over the case. I assume it's going to go to the special prosecutor now, coming over from The Hague. We're going to get an update on the rail strike. Bernie trying one more time, unfortunately failing. And surprise, surprise, little Marco didn't put his money where his mouth is, did he? Or didn't put his vote where his mouth is. Maybe, I don't know. I think one Republican voted with the Democrats, maybe two. It was 51-49. Apparently, Joe Manchin voted with the Republicans. So it's possible Marco Rubio was one of the two Republicans. We'll break this down and what this means going forward. And yes, we are wishing all railway workers a very happy Wildcat strike. I am all for it. I did my part. I shared out on all my social media earlier today. Marco voted no on both because of course he did. Well, asshole Marco got on camera and said that he would not vote for a deal that wasn't the deal that the workers wanted. Well, he had a chance. Apparently the workers were only asking for 4 sick days. And the progressives tacked on 7. So, Marco, you had your chance. What, was 7 too fucking generous? Well, if they had put 4, I would have voted for it. No, fuck no, you wouldn't have. I think Manchin is the only Democrat that voted no, but we'll have to go back to that. There were like 5 abstained from voting. Cowards. Fucking cowards. I don't like that. There's been a lot of framing, the Young Turks, that the progressives turned their back on workers. The 7 days was on the table. I don't think it would have been on the table without the progressives. Now, I guess the argument is... to his credit, he voted on the actual deal. Are you saying you voted no on cloture or some shit? I mean, Sinema voted for the deal. I mean, I guess you could say that, Mox, because Biden could have said, no, we're not going to intervene. Congress isn't going to intervene, and just let it go to a strike. The problem with Biden doing that is he's looking at his re-election chances in 2024.
Come on, man.
And it is clear with his actions on this strike, he is running in 2024. So I know a lot of us were very hopeful for an open primary. And maybe it was, maybe they thought about that had it been a bloodbath in the midterms. But since his approval rating has gone back up, you're right, Moggs. Biden could have sent them a deal, and I gave Biden credit originally, but then after I read his statement that he wanted the deal that the rail companies had put forward, that made me incredibly upset. But this is once again, he's running for re-election. Absolutely. Biden is more pro-labor than any president in the last 50 years. That's fucking true, but that was an incredibly low bar. Wildcat strike. Let's fucking do it. I'm all about it. Well, here's a, you can kind of pin it on the Republicans because, if enough Republicans had joined in, Marco, then they could have passed it. I don't know. Wildcat strike. I'm all about it. Simp. We ain't even started yet. Here's your meme of the day. I've been running down everything. We've been talking about the rail strike since that is the first story. Let's go ahead. Let's find out what that news be doing. And let's find out about the Senate bill that failed today. One with the 7 days tacked onto it. Failed. The other bill passed. Here is NBC News.
Just officially voted to avoid a potentially disastrous railway worker strike.
Disastrous to who?
The House voted to avoid the strike and ratify a tentative deal.
Would it be disastrous if the workers just got what they wanted? Would that really be disastrous? Huh?
Between the train companies and rail worker unions, despite the objections of several of those rail unions, specifically over the issue of a lack of sick days in the...
I'd vote no on this bill.
Put some pro-union Democrats in a tough spot because it would basically overrule some of the union workers' demands. House Democrats tried to address some of those concerns by taking up a separate bill that would add 7 days of sick leave to the contract. That bill was not voted on today in the Senate, but a similar amendment introduced by Senator Bernie Sanders did fail to reach the 60 vote threshold. Ali Vitale joins me now from Capitol Hill. So, Ali, this was...
Wait. So they weren't even going to take up the House bill with the 7 days. Bernie had to propose an amendment to get the 7 days. Jesus. Exactly. That's all on the rail companies. Disastrous for who is what I keep asking. Lenny, good evening, my friend.
This bill would pass. It was sort of in what form would it pass? And was there, say, I'm curious, any Republicans vote with Sanders on this amendment?
Yeah, there were a few of them, 6 if I'm
okay, I will give them props
correctly,
then.
because there were several in this series of votes, but among them who voted in favor of paid sick leave, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Kennedy of Louisiana, Graham, Braun, and Rubio, to the point where Sanders...
Never in a million years thought I would say this. Thank you, Ted Cruz. Thank you, John Kennedy. Thank you, Josh Hawley. Thank you, Lindsey Graham. Thank you, Marco Rubio. And thank you, Mike Braun. That was all 6 of them.
Come on, man.
Yeah, what timeline are we in?
After he left the floor, said to Cruz in a joking way, "I knew you were a socialist." So a little bit of comedy here on the floor, despite the fact that Sanders did not get the amendment that he and other Democrats were pushing for 7 days of paid sick leave, which is more than the one that's in this newly ratified proposal. But yeah, you're right. This puts some pro-union Democrats in a really tough spot, to the point where at the end of the day, the only Democrat who voted against the paid leave portion of this was actually Joe Manchin.
Of course he did.
The underlying bill ratifying and being able to avoid this strike, that passed through in bipartisan fashion, as many expected it to.
Or you say reset the simulation? Is that what you're saying, Warlord? The Senate passed legislation on Thursday to avoid an economically catastrophic rail strike. They say catastrophic, but I mean, I think it would have been a boon for workers. Bill now goes to President Joe Biden, who said he will sign the bill into law. He had pleaded with Congress to act swiftly, warning of major harm to supply chains that could disrupt supplies of clean drinking water and gasoline in an already fragile economy. The workers can still strike. The workers can still strike, but the strike is now going to be illegal if it happens. What that means is that the railroads can staff all the positions. They can take other actions. Illegal, exactly, Simp. But I'm still for it. I'm still for it. I come from a tradition of spitting in the face of companies. My grandfather was forced to work in the mines by the National Guard. The agreement, which required 60 votes, passed 80-15, with Senator Rand Paul voting present. The Senate held 3 votes in succession, each requiring 60 votes for approval. It rejected an amendment by Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska to extend the cooling off period, giving the relevant parties 60 days beyond the December 8th deadline to keep negotiating an agreement between unions and rail operators. I don't know how I feel about that. Tadpole, would that have been a good... I don't know. Would that have been a good thing to extend the cooling off period and let them continue to negotiate and then kick the can down the road and take it away from Congress? I don't know. I think I'd like that better than the bill that passed. That would be something where you'd want to consult with the unions to see what they think is the best way forward. Also rejected an amendment championed by Senator Bernie Sanders. Also, fucking thank you, Bernie. There is one man working tirelessly tirelessly in the Senate for the people, and his name is Bernie Sanders. But it's like Sisyphus. He's got a fucking rock. Sisyphus? Am I saying it right? He's got a fucking rock shackled to his ankle. Damn syphilis. Constantly going up the hill. Also rejected an amendment championed by Senator Bernie Sanders and Democrats to add 7 days of paid sick leave. 52 to 43. And if you guys are just tuning in, I thanked Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, John Kennedy, Mike Braun. Who else? There were 6 of them. 6 Republicans actually did the right thing. 6 Republicans actually did the right thing for once. Now, Republicans don't always do the right thing. Most of the time, they do the opposite of the right thing. Kind of like Tom Cotton blocking the quick passage of the 9/11 Victims Bill. God, I hadn't even read the reason over Beirut concerns. What the fuck? Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas is blocking the Senate from voting on a bill aimed at providing close to $3 billion to victims of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks, calling for victims of the 1983 bombings of the U.S. Marine barracks in Beirut, Lebanon, to share in the compensation. Holly was there. Yeah, I forgot to thank Holly again. Amazingly enough. This is killing me. Tom Cotton blocking the Senate from voting on a bill aimed at providing close to $3 billion to the victims of September 11th. Calling for victims of the 1983 bombings of the U.S. Marine barracks in Beirut to share in the compensation. Is that the $3 billion they stole from Afghanistan? Good question, Mox. Unfortunately, the $3 billion they stole for $3 billion, wasn't it in the trillions? We actually have like billions of Afghanistan's money frozen right now. We stole trillions from them, probably. The Republican senator opposed efforts by Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer to fast-track the Fairness for 9/11 Families Act to a vote on the Senate floor. The bill, H.R. 8987, passed the House in September with overwhelmingly bipartisan support. Talking about 9/11 victims, Cotton's opposition presents an obstacle as the 117th Congress comes to a close and could force the bill's sponsors to reintroduce it in the House in the next Congress. Cotton exercised his right to oppose the bill amid negotiations by Schumer to bring the legislation for a quick Senate floor vote through a process of unanimous consent to be employed when a bill is viewed as non-controversial. Senator Cotton will not allow a live unanimous consent of the bill as long as the Beirut bombing victims are left out, James Arnold, press secretary for Cotton, told The Hill. I don't understand why the families, and not that I'm saying that the families of the Beirut bombing shouldn't see compensation. Give money to everybody that's been wronged by our bullshit. It is the money they stole from Afghanistan. Wow. Nearly 80 family members of the 9/11 victims urged President Joe Biden to reverse his order and send back billions in Afghanistan's U.S.-held frozen assets. The letter sent to a senior White House. I think we covered this when it happened. By keeping the $3.5 billion from the Taliban, the U.S. aimed to make it harder for the group to finance its operations while incentivizing it to uphold human rights and keep al-Qaeda out of the country. The other $3.5 billion, meanwhile, could go to the families of 9/11 victims who wanted judgment for $7 billion in damages a decade ago. That money shouldn't come from Afghanistan. That money should come from the fucking Saudis. The Fairness for 9/11 Families Act was drafted to compensate the 5,364 9/11 victims, spouses, and dependents who were excluded from the U.S. Victims of State-Sponsored Terrorism Fund, established in 2015 as a way to compensate victims of terrorism who have secured final judgments in American courts against a state sponsor of terrorism. I just don't understand the connection with the Beirut families. Victims of the 1983 Beirut bombings are lobbying to also be acknowledged as missing out on payments provided by the US VSSTF. Cool. They shouldn't be excluded. 7 retired 4-star Marine Corps generals called for Senate leadership to address the exclusion of the Beirut bombing victims in the Fairness Act in a letter exclusively obtained by the Hill. So there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with this legislation. Lenny, not only were 15 of the 19 hijackers Saudis, Saudi Arabia funded it. Saudi Arabia funded it. Saudi Arabia funded it. And look at what has happened since. They own this fucking country. I don't know why I was gonna go. I was like, "Where's my orb picture? Where's the Trump orb?" Did I not save that the other day, or do I just fucking save so many goddamn pictures? And why did I save this one? What did I use this one for? What's this picture about? That's not my Donald Trump orb. I don't know. I was going to show the orb so I could transition easily to the stories about Donald Trump, but I'm a horrible broadcaster, and this isn't a good transition. Sorry for the shitty segue. Appeals Court overturned special master review of records found at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Ruling clears the way for federal investigators to use the records in its investigation of Trump's unauthorized transfer of classified documents to his Mar-a-Lago estate. Mr. Deary, I'm sure you served us well, but goodbye. Federal appeals panel on Thursday overturned the order creating a third-party special master to review 11,000 documents seized at Mar-a-Lago, clearing investigators to use the records in the criminal investigation of former President Donald Trump. The law is clear. The 3-judge panel of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled, "We cannot write a rule that allows any subject of a search warrant to block government investigations after the execution of the warrant, nor can we write a rule that allows only former presidents to do so." Judges had told Trump's lawyers during oral arguments that the traditional way to challenge what becomes part of an investigation through a government seizure is to challenge the evidence after charges have been filed, which they have not. Judges said challenging the seizure at this point would only be allowed in response to the callous disregard for constitutional rights, which Trump never alleged. Our precedents consistently reject this approach. Absent a stay from another appeal, the decision will go into effect in 7 days. Trump could potentially appeal to the Supreme Court. I would assume the court will do exactly what they did with his taxes and say, no, we decline to take the case. And then this order will stand. Trump will most certainly appeal. But we can't say for certain what this backwards ass court is going to do. The special master U.S. District Judge Raymond Deary had expected to complete his review by December 16th, but the department appealed that order that created his assignment because he could have potentially blocked access to documents as part of the criminal investigation. The decision came less than 2 weeks after Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed Jack Smith as a special counsel to oversee the investigation into Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and his unauthorized transfer of classified documents to Mar-a-Lago after he left the White House. A spokesperson for the special counsel declined to comment. I still think indictment is coming his way. at least. I still stand behind my assertion that he will be a non-factor in the 2024 presidential race, because I think he will be too encumbered with legal entanglements to actually run for president. Trump org defense lawyer scolded for using struck testimony. Closing arguments at the Trump Organization's criminal tax fraud trial got off to a rocky start on Thursday, as a lawyer for the company was caught showing jurors portions of witness testimony that had previously been stricken from the official record. Prosecutors objected to the display about an hour into lawyer Susan Nechelis's presentation. The judge, Juan Manuel Merchan, admonished I'm sorry for butchering all your names. Nechelises? And halted arguments so she could remove any other precluded testimony from a slideshow she was showing to jurors. Nechelises said she didn't intend to show any testimony that had been stricken as a result of a sustained objection. Merchant noted that the objections themselves had been removed from the excerpts Nechelis showed, but not the objectionable testimony. Nechelises resumed her closing argument after a half-hour break. Merchant briefly discussed the transcript issue with jurors, and Nechelises proceeded to show them the correct version, prefacing her remarks with a mea culpa. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that error. The transcript kerfuffle was just the latest dust-up involving the Trump Organization lawyers. Earlier this week, Merchant scolded the defense for submitting hundreds of pages of court papers just before midnight on Sunday. Mr. Mystery Eye. Mr. Ye? Speaking of Ye, we're going to be talking about Ye in just a little bit. Holy shit, we're going to be talking about Ye. Ye. Oh. I don't understand fashion. I don't get why that bear is controversial. I don't know why Kanye has that fucking hood on. But hey, maybe Kanye is selling those hoods because it would make it harder for me to piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole if he had one of those on. I'd have to ask him to open up the zipper on his eye hole so I can see his eye pussy. Maybe Ye is on to something. He knew I was out here wanting to piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. He knew I was wanting to piss in Stuart Rhodes' open eye hole. So he made these hoodies. Stop people from getting piss in their eye from me. Lenny, Trump can't hire top shelf lawyers because they won't take his case. Because most lawyers are pretty smart, right? And if your client will not listen to your legal advice, not only will not listen to your legal advice, but do the exact fucking opposite of what you've advised him to do, then I kind of think good lawyers are hard to come by. All right, I'm going to bullshit around here, and we'll catch the commercial break. I need to refill my coffee. I need to pack another bong. I'm just going to sit here and look at you guys for 5 minutes. Let's have a staring contest. Open yourself. And that's another thing. I didn't even mention that, Moggs. You bring up another point. Trump doesn't pay his lawyers. So, kind of hard. Yeah, Kanye was upset about Trump not paying the legal fees of people locked up in the January 6th probe. Trump doesn't pay his own legal fees. What the fuck? Are you guys excited for the Ye interview? We're only going to get to watch like 2 minutes of it, though. Believe me, I thought about playing the whole thing. I'd be playing with fire, though, because Alex Jones is banned from all platforms. We can only play like a short clip. Gold? Why would you call it gold? And like... It's so weird to me that right-wingers are, like, praising this. Like, Kanye going on there and calling himself a fucking Nazi and talking about how he admires Hitler. You guys have an obsession with Nazis, and it might be because you guys are fucking Nazis. Praising Hitler to own the libs. What? Wow, what a political strategy. God damn, right-wingers are dumb. Fucking morons. Like, this is just insane to me. We're gonna watch the video and mock what an idiot Kanye and Alex Jones both keeps delivering. Delivering what, you idiot? We're laughing at you and how dumb you sound. What the fuck? Oh, well, all right-wingers ever do is get outraged about shit, and then they'll go on outlets. So, like we've covered it multiple times now. Fucking the teddy bears that I have no idea what's wrong with this fucking bear. You want to talk about outrage? My God, did the right wing get outraged over a fucking teddy bear? But then we mock an idiot for praising Hitler, and the right's like, oh my God, the libs are losing their minds. Yeah, let's talk about the brand I had no idea existed until a few days ago, until right-wingers lost their goddamn minds. Apparently, they think teddy bears can warp children somehow. Just seeing this teddy bear can warp a child's mind, but just seeing a gun can't. I want it, like, apparently you guys have some issue with organizations grooming children. But you sure as shit don't go after the actual organizations that are grooming children for some reason. So Balenciaga, bad because they made a bear that has like some fucking leather straps on it. But I don't hear a fucking peep out of any of you when the goddamn Southern Baptist Convention admits to covering up the systematic rape of children. You people are hypocrites. Hundreds of church leaders accused or found guilty of abusing children. And the church admits that survivors were mistreated. Not a word from you guys about this, but teddy bears. Teddy bears are a problem. Yeah, I always hear that. I don't like pedo priests either. But you guys are religious. The right is fucking religious. You guys uphold these fucking institutions. And not only, like, you guys will make video after video and talk about Balenciaga all goddamn day long. I never hear one of you mention churches. Not a one of you. Oh, yeah. Daily Blend, thank you for being a freaking follower. I never said religion is bad. Oh, once again, we've got an idiot-ass right-winger coming in here using fallacious arguments Do you know what it is when you ask a question that has a presupposition built into it? That's called a loaded question fallacy. You come in here and you do that shit and you'll get called a fucking moron. But yeah, religion is bad. Religion is bad. Somebody shout out Woke Potato. Woke Potato will be our special guest co-host tomorrow night on the Friday Night Freak Show, 10 p.m. Eastern. On all the places you get your usual Justin Freakin content. And Potato, you're totally welcome to stream at the same time. We'll raid into you. Woke Potato, special guest co-host tomorrow night on the Friday Night Freak Show. If you guys are new to the channel, I try to get all the Twitch ads out of the way all at once. So we're going to take a 3-minute break. We're going to play my ads. We're going to come back on the other side of the break. We're going to talk about DeSantis yanking funding for BlackRock. The Daily Caller saying that Governor-elect Katie Hobbs wanted to arrest the County Board of Supervisors for not certifying the Arizona election. We're going to talk about Kane. Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs, who you guys may know as WWE superstar Kane. A fight with a county employee. Got a pastor that was on a cross-country trip with a cross on his back, getting into a fight with a motorist. Plus what you guys have all been waiting for. We're going to get a piece of the Kanye interview with Alex Jones. We're going to watch the SBF scam bank run fraud interview on GMA this morning. And we're going to talk about a non-binary kink party person that got appointed by Biden to something.
Come on, man.
All that and more on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol Live. Hi, I'm JustinFREAKIN. I'm a leftist broadcaster and comedian, not liberal, leftist. And despite what you may have heard from right-wing propaganda, George Soros isn't handing out Soros bucks and funding people like me. There are no Koch brothers, Mercers, or any number of right-wing think tanks funding content on the left side of the spectrum the way they fund people like Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, and Dennis Prager. And YouTube doesn't monetize videos that are controversial or deal with politics unless you're someone like Steven Crowder. So this is an ultimatum. Become a patron. Support my Patreon, or I'm going to become a right-winger and get some of that easy money. You know for a fact that I could be bigger than Charlie Kirk or Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing.
All I have to do is talk about how I used to be an SJW snowflake, but the left went too far with their cultural Marxism, and Republicans are stupid enough to buy it, even though this video exists. And you know I'm right, so give me your money or I'm selling you out.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Totally not high enough for this shit. Speaking of getting high, I need to get the promotion for this shit. I'm on the Stoner Cast this weekend. I don't even have an exact time for it. I need to get the promo for that shit. We're on Stoner Cast on December 3rd. So do come by whenever the fuck that is. I think it's at like 4:20. Which would make total sense, wouldn't it? Once again, I am saving my swag for after the show, and I'm smoking my... I keep all of my resin from my pipes, all of my gunk, all of my half-smoked bowls. Container. Putting that in the bong. That's what we'll smoke on. We'll save the real pot for after the show. Hopefully I'll be able to make a trip to the pot store before the Stoner Cast on Saturday. However, there are edibles in the freezer, so I might partake upon those on the Stoner Cast. Buddy, I didn't realize how powerful those edibles were the other day. You guys showing up for the Troll Patrol, and I'm like, I was on the weed get together. I did some edibles. They were kicking in. As we started doing the news. I barely got through that shit. I had a fucking horrid headache by the time I got to the end of the night, because those were some powerful fucking edibles. Problem with the resin is it's not just resin. It's not just resin. It's grinded up roaches. It's my half-smoked bowls that I clean out into this little container. So it's a powerful mix of gunk. It will get me very high. We got one bowl left for after the show. That means after I get all of my work done. God damn it, this morning I was doing, it wasn't this morning that I turned in videos for the club. It was like yesterday morning. That's why I didn't get to do Prime Minister's questions. So this morning I turn everything off, going to bed, get the kitties all cuddled up with me, and I think I had all three of them. I'm still fucking around on my phone, and I get the email from my client like, hey, I'm not seeing the videos. Can you re-upload them? My ass almost rolled over and went to sleep. But finally, I did indeed get up. I go turn the computer on. I sit down. I start looking at the folder. I'm like, everything's there. Guess I'll just delete them out and upload them again. And about that time, I get the email from the client like, hey, disregard that. I didn't have syncing turned on. That was me. But he didn't know I was going to bed at 10 o'clock in the morning, so, He doesn't know that my housemaid is a night nurse, so I kind of flip over to her schedule. What's going on in the chat? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Voodoo, love the job you're doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you for looking out for me. You are working on getting that producer spot that Warlord has been trying to lock up. Dude, Warlord's been slacking here lately. He might lose that title. Warlord's like, what? I haven't been slacking. Oh, I'm just playing around. Justin asking for a time. Fuckers, come at me with it. Come at me with it. Oh God, somebody's gonna do it now. We're getting ready to talk about the Daily Caller. Don't hit me with no profanity, please. I'm gonna need to cuss during that. Oh, but yay, Woke Potato tomorrow night. Special guest co-host on the Friday Night Freak Show. Potato, if you're still here, I'm sorry I didn't give you more of an idea of what we'll be talking about. I kind of spring shit on people. Nonsense and bullshit is the best way I can describe it. Feel free to go back and watch some clips from the old episodes. Too lazy to achieve slacker status. Dustin, good evening, my friend. My favorite clip is where we've got this gospel group we check in with. Oh, be high as shit, Woke Potato. That's totally cool. We've got this gospel group that we check in with every so often, and one of their members passed away. And this has been a couple months ago. Hildebeest was the co-host that night. And I played her a video of the group, and I'm like, hey, I want to check in with my gospel group here. They go around to different organizations, and they sing for people. They do this live stream every Thursday. So that's why they do the live stream on Thursday. Sometimes we check in with them on Friday. You know, it'll be like an Easter thing, and we'll listen to the gospel group. But I wanted to touch on it because one of their members died. But as we're watching the video, Hildebeest is like, is he still alive? Like, the dude who had passed away like a day or two later after the video we were watching. And Hildebeest is like, is he still alive? He looks like he's the Walking Dead. And I was like, well, it's funny you should bring that up. Because funeral services have been set. Hilda was some kind of Sixth Sense shit. She sees dead people. It was great. It's one of my favorite clips from the Freak Show. Sparkles telling me that I brought back the wrong kind of cake, you fucking idiot. That's also one of my favorite clips. Saying the opening act for his own funeral. I posted the video of us talking about his passing to their page. They're called A Higher Calling. They deleted my video. Apparently they weren't as amused by it as I was. Also, apparently a lot of people are not amused by me making butt cancer jokes about the congressman that died a couple days ago. Including the person that told me I didn't have any class on YouTube. If you guys were here last night, let me clue you in on this one. So there was a congressman that passed away a couple days ago. Dan McEachin. I did the story just because I wanted to point out that enough Congress people die every session to actually swing control of Congress. Just putting that out there. But as we're doing the story, and I didn't know this when we started doing the story, he died of colon cancer. So just as soon as I read colon cancer, I'm like, God's gonna put a cancer in your butthole. And I had to go get the clip of the preacher, and then I probably played that clip 100, 150 times during the stream. I kept going back to it. And, like, I wasn't actually making fun of the congressman died. I wasn't actually making fun of the congressman dying. Ah, shit.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
No, I was just making fun of the idea of butthole cancer and the preacher that kept saying, God's gonna put a cancer in your butthole. Now I gotta pull it up again. But man, people have been like, you have no class. And like, I never presented myself as somebody who has class, so I don't know what you were thinking. If you guys have never heard this.
Gonna put a cancer in the butthole. God's gonna put a cancer in the butthole of every sodomite. Every sodomite's butthole will get cancer in the butthole. It'll burn and burn and burn They won't be able to.
So the thumbnail, the thumbnail wasn't necessarily making fun of the dude, the congressman who died. It was making fun of the preacher and the God's gonna put a cancer in your butthole. Voodoo, when someone is dead is the best time to make fun of them. I shared out a post that I had made on Facebook 4 or 5 years ago. It was when George H.W. Bush died, and it said, haha, now next, and it had a picture of Henry Kissinger. I shared that post out. This is 4 years later. Henry Kissinger's still fucking alive. And Christy McVie was born like when Henry Kissinger was 40. Christy McVie of Fleetwood Mac fame passed away yesterday. Was born when Henry Kissinger was like fucking 40. That asshole is still alive. There is no God. There is no God. Or God would have put a cancer in that man's butthole. Seriously, that's how I know there's no God. The best person I've ever met in my life, one of the most inspiring individuals I ever met in my life, died at a young age of a brain tumor. Henry Kissinger is still fucking alive. There is no God. Donald Trump, still alive. There is no God. The sweetest, kindest, one of the most intelligent individuals I've ever met. Died at like 40, 42 or something. And this has been 4 or 5 years since he died. Tears me up. Oh, Voodoo, I hate to hear that. That's horrible. So to the person that was like, was religion bad? Yes, religion is bad. Churches are nothing but organized pedophile rings. Religion is basically just a self-help guru on steroids. It's the worst of self-help. So, sorry if you don't like my opinion on religion. I don't give a shit. Motherfuckers want to cancel some bougie-ass brand I'd never even heard of over a goddamn teddy bear. But want to defend churches which have raped thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of children. If we're going back through the entire history of the church, it would not surprise me that they have raped millions of children. But we're going to cancel a bougie-ass, which they should probably be canceled for charging fucking $1,400 for a pair of fucking sneakers that they use slave labor to make. That's the real reason to be upset at this fucking company, not that they have some bear dressed up like Right Said Fred. All of their products look like shit. Who would want a pillow like that? I bet that pillow is goddamn $300. Anyone who would have bought their shit is a fucking moron. I'm sorry if any of you own any Balenciaga shit. But I see all these right-wingers, they're the ones that were buying the shit to begin with. Bryson Gray burning his goddamn sneakers that he paid $1,400 for. Is that a flask or just like a canteen? I mean, like, yeah, flask. But, like, technically, they could just be like a canteen or some shit. I had a chain like that when I was in high school, and we're talking, 2001. We're talking post Columbine. The flask is $125. It says H2O on it. So clearly you are not using it for its expressed purpose. Get yourself a 66% off crack pillow instead.
I was on crack.
Right. Well,
Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folk, there is your next RNC chair, Mike Lindell.
I was on crack.
Right. Well,
It wouldn't surprise me if he actually does become RNC chair, because right-wingers are morons. Ah, Jesus. So this is going to be a hilarious story. It amused me to no end when I read it. We're going to the Daily Caller. Not to be confused with the Daily Wire. The Daily Caller is a different far-right nut job publication. Exclusive. Katie Hobbs's office threatened county board with arrest indictment if they didn't certify the results. Daily Blend. Oh, shit, but we like you here because you're a freaking follower. Katie Hobbs's office threatened county board with arrest indictment if they didn't certify results. Do you guys know what's wrong with that headline? I mean, the Daily Caller, they got him. They got Katie Hobbs's office now, didn't they? Katie Hobbs's office threatened Mojave County supervisors with arrest and prosecution if they failed to certify the results of their election before the state deadline. Corey Lorick, the state elections director and Hobbs's top deputy, sent multiple emails to the board warning them of consequences, including the disenfranchisement of voters. Mojave was one of several GOP-led counties in Arizona that asked for more time before certifying results to examine election integrity issues. But here's the thing. They broke the law. They broke the law. And now, as we found out, was it last night? They may have given a congressional seat to Democrats. Because if their county is not counted, their heavily GOP county, then that congressional seat goes to the Democrat. It would be enough to flip the results. Democratic Arizona Secretary of State and Governor-elect Katie Hobbs's top deputy threatened the Mojave County Board of Supervisors with prosecution if it didn't certify her election results before a Monday deadline. But they broke the law. Arizona State Elections Director Corey Lorick wrote several letters and emails to members of the board warning them of criminal charges if they refused to certify the results in time. Because it's against the law to do what they did. Weird. This is the party of law and order, right? The Secretary of State did contact our county and cited ARS Section 161010 as a statute that could be used to prosecute the board if they didn't certify the election. Yes. The statute is an Arizona felony statute regarding election officials who fail to perform their duties, like certifying the election by the deadline. Under the law, as a Class 6 felony, upon conviction, it could result in up to 2 years imprisonment. You do the crime, you do the time, right? That's what I always heard. The threat of legal action, including personally, came from the Arizona elections director, said the board's chair-elect, Supervisor Travis Lingenfelter. That's like saying that cop personally arrested me. What the fuck? While previous reporting noted that the board's members were warned of prosecution by their counsel, their own lawyers warned them that they could be prosecuted. The board's members have now stated that the threats came from Lorick, who reports to Hobbs as well. So basically what they're saying is, we want to be able to break the law. See, that's what right-wingers frame things. So distant. Like, we can't consider you guys good faith actors when you ask a question like that. Hobbs, a Democrat, just demanded certification on her election. No, Hobbs didn't demand it. The law demands it. It was against the law to not certify the election. Yes. I mean, your framing is disingenuous. Professor Q, thank you for the resub. You're saying like Katie Hobbs had some personal vendetta and was trying to attack her political opponents when it's the law. The law states that the election had to be certified by what date was it? The 28th, the 29th? We've done this story. We've been following it. The law demands that the county certify it. That's why they were threatened with prosecution, because they broke the law. Oh, hell yeah, Lenny, thanks for handing out the gift sub. I'm sorry, I didn't flip over to Twitch and see what was actually going on. But thank you for the gift sub. You are awesome. I love having you in my community. So that's it. I just don't understand why right-wingers always want to be so disingenuous. Like, I can't look at you guys as good faith actors when you frame shit like that, right? It's okay, Daly, and I'm sorry if I called you a right-winger, if I was acting out of pocket there. We're glad to have you here. I always like to argue with people, but like, a lot of people have this idea that they have a dominion over facts. They want to come in and make very fallacious arguments. And like, to say that Katie Hobbs was I mean, because that's the way the Daily Caller framed it, was to say that, well, Katie Hobbs, she's threatening prosecution. No, Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State, and it's her job to prosecute people who don't follow the law when it comes to elections. And it wouldn't be her prosecuting, it would be the Secretary of State's office handing it over to the state AG, maybe an independent counsel. I don't know how that would be set up or how it works in Arizona. Yeah, we get a lot of dumbassery in here, so sorry about that, Daily Blend. A lot of dumbassery in here earlier. I'm not high enough for this shit. I just, like, there's always this disingenuous framing by people that are not good faith actors, like the Daily Caller. And the GOP is constantly calling for their political opponents to be locked up. Yet the moment one of them breaks the law, it's some kind of political attack to prosecute them. There's a double standard in this country. Alright. We gotta find out what that news be doing. Justin just wasn't high enough for this shit. Moving down to Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis is attacking the company BlackRock. As producer Dave loves to say, no one to root for in this one. We're just watching this play out. Florida, DeSantis yanked billions in investments from woke BlackRock. Florida is yanking $2 billion worth of state assets managed by BlackRock, escalating the GOP standoff with the world's largest money manager over its ESG investment policies. The state treasury will freeze about $1.4 billion worth of long-term securities and remove BlackRock as the manager of about $600 million worth of short-term overnight investments, with the goal of giving that business to other money managers by the beginning of 2023. Now, I would say DeSantis is going to give it to money managers who donate to his campaign. We've seen this time and time and time again with DeSantis and the Florida GOP. The state treasury will freeze about $1.43 billion worth of... Oh, I already said that. Republicans who say liberals are using environmental, social, and corporate governance investing strategies to advance an ideological agenda that would be voted down at the ballot box have lashed out at woke corporations and money managers. As if a money manager is fucking woke. And if they're doing anything that the right considers woke, let's make no mistake about it. They're just doing it for posturing to cover up their shitty business practices. Let me be perfectly clear though, fuck BlackRock. And it doesn't fit the definition of a monopoly. Yet I would consider it kind of monopolistic, because the amount that they own, the amount of stock that they own in so many fucking companies is outlandish. I think something should be done with BlackRock, but also they donate to a lot of our politicians. Another one of the reasons why we need to move to public financing of campaigns, so we don't get these bought and paid for assholes. I wish we had a local news hit on this one. I really don't want to have to read all of this. But I'm really only doing it because people talking about cabals and shit don't want to talk about BlackRock. I mean, I could, but I'm a better broadcaster than text-to-speech. I'm a better broadcaster than most of the local news hits that we play, but that's besides the point. Knox County former employee exchange allegations, insults following misconduct scandal and firing. So you guys may recognize the politician on the left. His name is Glenn Jacobs. He is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Also known as WWE superstar Isaac Yankem. Also known as WWE superstar Unabomb. No, I think he only did that one in Smoky Mountain. Also known as WWE superstar Fake Diesel. Oh, I'm sorry. Also known as WWE superstar Kane. Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs sent employees to work at his home on company time and pressured another employee to lie about an ethics investigation. Kane is a Republican, so makes sense. According to court documents filed by former Parks and Recreation Director Paul White. That is not Paul Wright, former WWE superstar Big Show. That is Paul White, former Knox County Parks and Recreation Director, who was fired for apparently trying to expose Kane. Documents stem from a lawsuit filed by White, which was settled in late November, netting White $150,000 payout from the county. The suit documented the details of an ethics scandal during which a county employee, Brian Hare, borrowed a county-owned golf cart for months while his wife was recovering from a foot injury. According to the documents, Jacobs sent employees to work at his home on county time on June 22nd, 2020. The document said the employees were sent to Jacobs' home to help remove a snake from the property. Kane, you could have just called up Jake. Jake would have come by and picked that bastard up. Apparently, Jake was very abusive to his snakes, too. So, fuck Jake the Snake. We have no affinity for piss drinker around here, either. Those claims were disputed by the county, however, because of course they were. Abby Harris, a representative for Knox County, told WVLT News that White saw a Facebook post from Jacob's wife about the snake while driving with 2 other employees on a lunch break. Since they were near Jacob's home, Harris said, White repeatedly called Jacobs, who was in a meeting, to offer to remove the snake. Because the mayor was in a meeting, he told Paul to call Jacob's wife to discuss it. He did not instruct him to go to the house to remove the snake or make him do so. The only reason the mayor knew about the snake was because Paul White interrupted a meeting to tell him about it and offer removal services. Harris added that the snake removal only took 10 minutes, not 2 hours. She also added that since the removal happened on the employee's lunch break, it was not on county time. Harris' violation regarding the golf cart and other misconduct allegations was being investigated by the state comptroller's office and Pugh and Associates, a private firm. According to the findings of the investigation, Jacobs was not the only county official to have employees work for him on county time. Guy Comet, good evening. This is a very lengthy story. If you guys would like to finish reading about how corrupt Kane from the WWE is, go ahead and read into it. It's a lot of he said, she said bullshit, but basically Kane and other county officials were having employees work at their homes. Fuck off, Kane. By God, it's Kane! It's the Big Red Machine, Kane! Apparently there was a controversy a few months back. The video of The Rock calling Kane the Big Red Arsler resurfaced. This was the late 90s, early 2000s. It was a different time. I would assume The Rock apologized for that. The Rock seems to be a stand-up guy, other than the fact that The Rock is a Republican. Rock is a Republican. You know, we were talking about religion earlier. Let's get religious. Honestly, Sky Comet, isn't that like that was the mid-card ass mayor? Now, he is the former champ. He is the former champ. He held the belt for 1 day up until the time that they gave him another title run about 10 years later. Mid-card ass mayor. But he is a former world champion in the WWE. There was some controversy about that. Talk about religion. A cross-carrying missionary busted for having a fist fight during Walk Across America. A missionary carrying a cross on his shoulder during a 2,000-mile walk across America is accused of not turning the other cheek. When do Christians ever turn the other cheek? And boy, every time I point out that they don't follow the Bible, their response is, well, you don't believe in the Bible, so why does it matter to you? You believe in it! And I am pointing out that you don't actually believe in it because you don't follow what it fucking says, you idiots. Jesus said, love everyone. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Don't judge anyone. Give everything you own to the poor and turn the other cheek. And somehow these assholes have twisted that into I can act morally superior and call you out on bullshit that you don't even fucking believe in. By the way, that's another thing I want to bring up. Bryson fucking Gray. Let's go. I'm still on these goddamn teddy bears. Bryson Gray burned his fucking sneakers over this goddamn teddy bear. Sir, Jesus commanded you to give everything you own to the poor. You burnt those $1,400 sneakers instead of donating them to a shelter. What do you think Jesus would have to say about that? But no, you can't promote your music and act morally self-righteous if you just donate your fucking sneakers because you have a problem with this brand. You fucking hypocrite. Assholes burn their goddamn sneakers instead of giving them away to the poor. You're not fucking Christians. I fucked Christians a few times because, like, I had a girlfriend that was a Sunday school teacher. I took her virginity. That's still fucking, it sounds like I did it forcefully. That was weird. Why am I even telling this story? God damn, Justin. He was like 28. I asked her multiple times. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? He was my girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, I've never met, it's not that I'm against sex before marriage or anything. It's not a religious thing. I just never met anybody that I felt like doing this with. Okay. But no, these assholes burn their fucking sneakers instead of giving them to the poor. And that's another thing is the Bible literally says, watch out for the Pharisee like you, Bryson, who use the Lord to promote themselves and enrich themselves. Goddamn titty bears. I'm tired of Christians bullshit. Sorry to anyone that's a Christian and actually lives your life as Jesus commanded you to. I've known a few of them in my life. We've had Salty Pastor here on the show. A humble man who will go out of his way to help the poorest among us. That is Jesus-like. I would venture to say someone who owns $1,400 sneakers in the first place is nothing like Jesus. Bryson. Someone who owns $1,400 sneakers in the first place is nothing like Jesus. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising then if his servants also masquerade as servants of righteousness. Their end will be what their actions deserve. Corinthians 11, 14, and 15. Thank you, Voodoo. We're gonna watch Kanye, a supposed Christian, talking about God here in a little bit. While also saying Hitler was awesome or some shit. Simp, lucky you. I should probably go check some of my places. I probably got nugs hiding somewhere, to be honest with you. A missionary carrying a cross on his shoulder during a 2,000-mile walk across America is accused of not turning the other cheek as he allegedly got into a fist fight with a passing motorist and wound up being arrested. Jesse Michael Boyd, 46, of Vail, completing the multi-state trek for Foolproof Gospel Ministries. Foolproof. Also, not fool as in F-O-O-L to those of you listening to the... That is how you spell fool, right? I have a real problem with spelling shit, in case you guys don't know. I can look at words and they can be misspelled and I'll think they look spelled correctly. That is how you spell fool. F-O-O-L. Have a hard time telling you how to spell things off the top of my head and shit, but I can write them down. But it's Foolproof, F-U-L-L. Yeah, like 200 proof or 100% out or the full glass. I don't understand. Full proof. It actually doesn't make any sense. So he had his teenage daughter and young son with him and 2 other missionaries. They got into fisticuffs with a driver outside of Cameron, Montana. Uh-oh. Do we have video? Do we have a local news hit on this? Yes! Thank you. This is what we needed.
His family from Catawba County claimed that their civil and religious rights were violated after they were arrested nearly 2,000 miles away near Cameron, Montana.
Jesse Boyd.
Oh my God! I'm going to assume this dude is a dumbass right-winger. Because this is the same thing that, like, oh my God, they're trying to arrest us in Arizona when they broke the fucking law. Yeah, you get arrested if you fist fight with somebody. It's against the law.
He told us that he and his family were on a journey across America carrying a cross and a flag, and they were confronted by someone. Court documents say that confrontation turned violent, with Boyd being arrested and others, including his children, being handcuffed. Channel 9's Dave Faraday is live tonight in Vail, and Dave, that family is now back, but they have to wear ankle monitors.
Yeah, Scott, they bonded out of jail in Montana, but they're required to wear ankle monitors here in North Carolina. They journeyed through 17 different states.
Of course they're from North Carolina.
America, often passing out cards like these with...
North Carolina, for those of you who don't know, North Carolina, that's like the home of Jerry Falwell. There's a huge contingent of these far-right, nut-job religious organizations. It's in western North Carolina, and then there's a lot in southern Virginia. A hotbed of these fucking organizations.
Information about the gospel on these cards before being arrested.
Voodoo, have a great evening.
Of Jesse Boyd and his family as they walk more than 5,000 miles across the U.S. It's part of their work with North Carolina.
I can't see it without bringing it up. That is a mountain known as Six Grandfathers. The faces carved into the side of it are a blight. That land should be given back to natives. That side of the mountain should be, I don't know what you should do. Should you blow up the fucking faces or whatever? Whatever the natives want to do to it. We can go sand them off or whatever the fuck. But that one of the ugliest goddamn things I've ever seen in my life. Mount Rushmore should not exist. And I want everyone to adopt calling it Six Grandfathers, its native name.
Based foolproof gospel ministries. You can see Boyd carrying a cross and others holding an upside-down flag. Not to show disrespect, but instead distress over the direction of the country. Their missionary work, though, ended at a snowy intersection in Montana. When Boyd says another vehicle pulled up, he says the driver began yelling at them about where they had parked.
I'm sorry, we're leaving right now. And so at that point, he just lit into a rage, cursing.
So basically what you're telling me is that you were illegally parked and somebody jumped onto you, and you think because you're a religious man, you can get away with this bullshit.
Son was standing right there. I told him there wasn't any need to act like that.
Boyd says the confrontation escalated when the driver got out of his vehicle and charged at him. He says with his family nearby, he drew his own gun.
And told him, sir, we don't want any trouble. I'm in fear for my life, and you get back in your car.
Boyd says the driver appeared to calm down, so he put the gun away and then says the man
drew a gun on him
into the car, struck him in the face, and knocked him to the ground.
He told us we weren't welcome in Montana. He told us that there were rifles trained on us, and if we moved, we'd be shot.
Boyd says he, his daughter, and 2 other missionaries fought back against that man, Bradley Terrell. Court documents say they struck Terrell multiple times and hit him with their flagpole. They were later arrested and charged with felony aggravated assault.
Yeah, you should be.
I reached out to Terrell by phone today, and he said he wouldn't comment about what happened, but did say, I'd love people to see the evidence, stay with us, follow the case, and follow the facts.
I would almost guarantee that this pastor is fucking lying. I hate to be that way about religious people, but there's just a mountain of evidence. They are dishonest pieces of shit. I'm sorry. Where else have you seen an assault with a flagpole? I wonder where this man was on January 6th.
He's required to wear an ankle bracelet.
Good.
Hoping someday to continue his missionary work.
At some point, I'll take up that cross from the very spot that this took place, and we'll continue our journey as the Lord leads to the Pacific Ocean.
And I reached out to prosecutors in Madison County, Montana. They would not discuss this case, but they...
I want to. What does the arrest report say? I'm assuming it's public record. It may vary from state to state, but every state I've been in, you would be able to go and get that arrest report. I would like to know, because clearly they pressed charges against the pastor, not the other dude.
They did tell me that they do plan on filing charges against Jesse Boyd in the next few weeks.
Good.
Reporting live from Catawba County, I'm Dave Faraday.
Good. He deserves it. So yeah, the only version of events that we have is from the pastor, and I do not believe him. Also, I've seen other pastors carrying crosses across country, and yours is kind of tiny, dude. That one pastor, and that's who I thought it was. That's who I thought we were going to be talking about. That one pastor has a gigantic fucking cross, and it has wheels on the back of it. He absolutely did an aggravated assault, and from his own story. Now he's put a lot of fucking details in there, like, oh, I was scared for my life. From his own version of events, he threw the first punch. He pulled a gun on somebody. He was parked illegally. From his own version of events. So I'm on the other guy's side. Good. I hope you are prosecuted to the fullest extent, you piece of shit. Oh, but it's religious liberty. Fuck off. Fuck off. Alright, so now we're getting to the section of the show. Ah, fuck, we're coming up on a commercial break. We're not getting to that section of the show yet. We're gonna hold off. First, we're going to hear from Sam Bankman-Fried, a name I had no clue about until just a couple of weeks ago. The founder of FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that was apparently pulling a 2008 market crash Wall Street move. I'm sorry, the 2000s Wall Street move. By inflating their value using a asset evaluation company. The really shitty part about this one is he owned this Alameda Research or whatever. He owned that shit and was like propping up the two companies. Using money from the FTX to invest with the Alameda, and then using the Alameda to back up the FTX. Well, I don't know shit about fucking economics. Crypto Madoff. He was pulling a goddamn scam, because of course he was, because there's no regulation of crypto. He was doing it with real money. There are regulations in place that would have actually prevented him from doing this exact scam. Not other scams. But apparently he is in some incredibly hot water, could be facing charges. I hope he is prosecuted to the fullest extent. Luckily, he probably will be because he's an outsider. He's not a Wall Street banker. Probably prosecute all Wall Street bankers. Tones, good evening. You came just in time for Ye and Sam Bankman-Fried. scam, bank run, fraud. I like that name. He gave a long-form interview to the New York Times. I think it was well over an hour. I don't feel like watching that whole fucking thing. We're going to watch the condensed version on Good Morning America. He also appeared on Good Morning America. This should be interesting because I saw multiple lawyers saying this is why lawyers advise their clients not to give interviews. So I believe he has incriminated himself multiple times. Then, speaking of Texas, we're going to go to Austin, Texas, where a famous rapper made an appearance on the Alex Jones show. This is how Kanye looked on Alex Jones when he said he liked Hitler. That's it. That's the whole meme. I don't know exactly what he said. But if I read it correctly, he called himself a Nazi. Apparently he even shocked Alex Jones, so I'm very much looking forward to this. And then we're going to talk about a non-binary kink party person. I don't even know how to word this. A non-binary kink party person that Biden appointed to some position in the government. Non-binary kink party person sounds cool to me, so I don't know. But Matt Walsh is upset over it, so we're going to listen to what Matt Walsh has to say. Don't ever listen to what Matt Walsh has to say unless you're listening to him regarding me.
JustinFREAKIN, the formidable voice in the culture.
Mox, have you ever seen the Pop Brothers Lawyers? They used to do a thing, I don't know if they do it anymore, because, I mean, you can only get so much mileage out of this bit. They did Shut the Fuck Up Friday. They'd be like smoking joints or blunts as they're doing it. If a cop comes up to you, what do? You shut the fuck up. I loved those dudes. I hope they're still around, and I hope they're still telling people to shut the fuck up. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Friday Night Freak Show, special guest co-host, Woke Potato. Woke Potato coming on with the Woke Eggplant. Everything's transphobia with them. It gets tiring. Alright, if you're watching on Twitch and you aren't subbed, you're going to get Twitch's commercials. If you are subbed, you're going to get my commercials. It's Shut the Fuck Up Friday Night Freak Show. You're not going to miss any content. When we come back, we're going to be doing SBF, we're going to be doing Kanye, and we might even get in on this non-binary kink person party. All that and more on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol Live. This is WWE superstar and multiple-time champion Seth goddamn Rollins. you.
Seth is one of the top wrestlers in the industry, and never in a million years would I expect that Seth would be spying on me, or at least following me on social media. You see, a few years ago, around 2015 or 2016, Seth started referring to himself as
Seth freaking Rollins.
Now, Justin, you may say, your name is JustinFREAKIN. That's not very similar. And you'd be right. But I actually rebranded myself as JustinFREAKIN after Rollins blatantly stole my gimmick. Before last year, I went by
JustinFREAKIN Mullins. JustinFREAKIN Mullins.
JustinFREAKIN Mullins.
I am on film and audio, calling myself JustinFREAKIN Mullins several years before Seth Rollins. And if we take a trip in the Wayback Machine, we can see that I've actually been using the appellative since I was in high school. If this was Seth's only offense, I might let it slide. But recently he started referring to himself as
The Monday Night Messiah.
I wonder where I have heard something like that before.
I am the new media messiah.
I am the new media messiah.
Self-proclaimed new media messiah.
The new media messiah.
So, Seth, since you and the WWE are clearly paying attention to me, consider this video your cease and desist to stop infringing on my intellectual property, and issue me a check for a cut of that sweet merchandise money. Obviously, you and the WWE are big fans of my ideas, so maybe you should offer me a slot on the creative team. Anyone who has watched Raw in the past decade knows you could use the help. And if you're watching this video and you're not Seth Rollins, check out the links below to learn how you can contribute to my legal fund.
Now we turn to YouTuber JustinFREAKIN. The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the culture. Uncensored and unfiltered political talk and debate from a leftist perspective.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. Matt actually said that. You
Today's
saw the
top news
video.
stories and videos with astute social commentary.
Not high enough for this shit.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Right-wingers are morons.
You brought back the wrong kind of fucking cake, you idiot.
Guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Yet you're like, we'll pray for somebody. You think you can telepathically communicate with a deity, and you have the audacity to say somebody else has a mental disorder. For the love of God. By the way, Matt Walsh in the Daily Wire filed a takedown notice on one of my videos. I haven't had a chance to respond to it yet. I just want to point that out, though. The free speech organization known as the Daily Wire. Due to a copyright takedown notice that we received, we had to take down your video from YouTube. The video title, What is a Woman by Matt Walsh, lied to get interviews and is using pics without permission. Now, I wonder why Matt Walsh might want that video taken down. Why would Matt Walsh want that video taken down? I've posted this picture on the Daily Wire's website multiple times when they're talking about big tech tyranny, and somebody actually responded to me that I should have got permission to use Matt's video. To which I responded, look at the title of my video. Look at the title of my video. Now, it is a good possibility that I played a clip of What is a Woman, which is behind a paywall. I think I had the clip, and it is very, very telling. If I remember correctly, it is the clip where Matt is asking the gender studies professor at Vanderbilt University if he can define what a woman is. And the professor starts giving what I assume was a very eloquent and nuanced answer. But we'll never know what he said. Because Matt Walsh actually does a fast forward effect, doesn't let you hear the professor's response. It cuts to a shot of him acting bored, and then it goes to the end of the response. You never hear what the professor actually said. It's almost like Matt isn't concerned with answering the question, what is a woman? He's more concerned with being a bad faith actor and promoting his bullshit. So if that, and I haven't had the chance, I've been too fucking busy. I've got an idea. I think I will go back and I will reproduce that exact scene. I will act it out. I will put it in a video with cartoons, like with a cartoon Matt Walsh and a cartoon professor, and I will act it out, both parts. Can't take me down then, motherfucker. Daily Wire is incredibly dishonest. Speaking of people who are incredibly dishonest, I didn't even know this dude's name until a couple weeks ago. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos to try to find out what's going on. His name is Sam Bankman-Fried. Apparently him and his girlfriend were running some sort of, and it sounds like some fucking sex cult as well. It sounded a lot like the what was the multi-level marketing scam where like the dude at the head of it was abusing like celebrities and shit? The woman from like Smallville was in on it. The NVIX, whatever the fuck that shit was. It's what it kind of sounded like. That's the kind of company they were running. Not that they were doing the same thing. It was an MLM inside of the crypto world. And they had some sort of, it was the LVINXII fucking whatever the fuck that shit is. I'm sure producer Dave would be able to tell you all about it. But I have no idea. That was a sex cult. That's one that like, but it was also like a multi-level marketing scheme. And apparently SBF had some kind of sex cult thing going on as well. Is he trying to pin the shit on his girlfriend? What a piece of shit. What a goddamn piece of shit. We're not going to watch the interview, the interview with the New York Times. It was over an hour long. We're going to watch the interview with Good Morning America, which is about 10 minutes long, which I think is far more appropriate for this show. So hopefully Robin or George Stephanopoulos gets to the heart of the matter, and we don't have to listen to the whole hour-long interview, because I think I'd fall asleep. We're going to go ahead and preface this by saying I know jack squat about finance or economics. Totally not my bailiwick. Not my bailiwick. Where are all these sex cults? You gotta go start your own, Tones. And you probably gotta have money. You gotta probably have money to start one of those. I know nothing about finance and economics. I'll make that perfectly clear going into this. But I don't think people that talk about finance and economics know shit about finance and economics either. This is just a hunch of mine. I can't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure every single person on CNBC, Fox Business, writes for Bloomberg, doesn't know jack squat about economics or finance. I think we're just making up the rules as we go along, to be honest with you. So here is FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried on Good Morning America this morning.
With Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. And George, we know that you traveled down to the Bahamas to speak with him.
In that penthouse that he sat in, used to work with his former colleagues at FTX, now alone with his parents. And Robin, this was really something, a wild interview. Almost 2 hours we sat down. It felt at times like a therapy session. He took every tough question. He wanted to speak out about all the questions surrounding this collapse. Remember, about a month ago, he was worth about $20 billion. Now he says he's worth $100,000. He's under investigation by prosecutors and regulators, but he insists he did not commit fraud. Let's take a look.
Bullshit.
A lot of people look at you and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
I love the very first frame of the interview.
He did not commit fraud. Let's take a look.
He says he did not commit fraud, and then they cut to a shot of a man making a face that says, "I most certainly committed fraud." almost the Kubrick stare. The Kubrick stare is straight. And I believe the camera is tilted down. Almost the Kubrick stare. But this is definitely the face of a man who committed fraud.
a lot of people look at you and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Bernie Madoff.
I don't think that's who I am at all, but I understand why they're saying that. People lost money, and people lost a lot of money. And I mean, at the end of the day, look, there's a question of what happened and why, and who did what caused the meltdown. And I think that reads very differently, right? When you look at the classic Bernie Madoff story, there was no real business there. The whole thing, as I understand it, I think was just one big Ponzi scheme, right?
I think he looks like Private Pile.
Business.
He was at the top of the cryptocurrency world. 30-year-old billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried.
You just need FTX.
It's FTX? It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Super Bowl ads.
Yep.
Well, good on you. Good on you, Larry David.
We did a lot of things to try and bolster our reputation, to try and, help our brand.
But in the early morning hours of November 11th, it all came to an end when FTX filed for bankruptcy and Bankman-Fried stepped down as CEO amid reports of FTX customer funds being used to pay Alameda Research creditors. This confirmed by former Alameda CEO Carolyn Ellison during an early November video meeting with employees. Alameda, the crypto trading firm also founded by Bankman-Fried. ABC News reached out to Carolyn Ellison for comment, but has not heard back.
She looks like she's 17 there. What the hell? She was CEO of a company.
One of the reasons FTX went bankrupt is because FTX deposits were used to pay Alameda.
I didn't vandalize anybody.
Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
Best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago. There was a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets over the last month, and to some extent over the last year, that threatened that position quite a bit. And I
hope everybody that invested in it lost a lot of money.
What happened there?
I am no crypto.
I mean, I should feel sorry for the people who were duped. But I mean, it's not like there aren't people everywhere like myself going, hey, crypto's a scam. And I've said it from the beginning, the blockchain the blockchain protocol has some exciting possibilities. Bankman-Fried really exactly tones. What a name. The blockchain has some exciting possibilities for the future. This ain't it.
No finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I was asking, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
Sir, this is the kind of question where you should keep your mouth fucking shut, because this will be used against you in court. I can go ahead and tell you that right now.
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors. Are you, which creditors are you referring to?
Carolyn Ellison said that you all knew that these funds were put into Alameda. They were the funds owned by your depositors.
So I can't speak for who knew what. A lot of the customers on FTX did have, borrows either, in dollars or Bitcoin or euros.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading. But you're saying that happened.
My understanding is a few things happened. First is there is a margin trading facility on FTX by which users can lend out funds, by which other users borrow funds. And so there are explicit cases where there is, margin extended, where there is borrow lending.
If Alameda is borrowing the money that belongs to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
There are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the programs and that are happening.
Not here. Here it says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading. They can't be loaned out.
There existed a borrow lending facility.
I will give him this.
And I think that's probably...
He took the time to think about the question and think about his answer. And in so many instances in this world, people do not take the time to actually think before they speak. So good on him for doing that.
Probably covered, I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere else in the terms of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
If you rewind to, the beginning of FTX, where, some customers were, I think in line with sort of existing relationships that they've had, at least in some cases, wiring money straight to Alameda Research in order to trade on FTX.
So you do know, and you did know, that FTX deposits were being funneled to Alameda.
Yes.
So I was vaguely aware that...
Vaguely aware, oh my God.
...being sent in the first place.
No, keep talking. Incriminate yourself, please.
So there were a lot of people who were involved in that process. And look, I really...
Buddy. I know you're out of money now. Who told you to fucking go do these rounds? I will be your media consultant and coach you. Please hire me. I will work for, you got $100,000 left? Give me 10 grand of that. Give me 10 grand right now. I will coach you through this. Come on, buddy. I would be way better at helping you through this media firestorm than whoever the fuck is coaching you.
That I had taken, like, a lot more responsibility for understanding what the details were of what was going on there. I knew that legal was involved. I knew that other groups at the company were involved, that, there were agreements drafted up.
But you're ultimately responsible.
And ultimately, absolutely, I should have been on top of this, and I feel really...
I think Stephanopoulos might have been a lawyer.
That I wasn't.
I don't remember what his background was.
And that
he was an advisor to Clinton.
Here's what
He was an advisor to Clinton.
He said, if I were him, I'd be afraid of going to jail for a long time.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's not my call what happens, and the world will judge me as it will.
Are you worried about going to jail?
There are a lot of things that are...
Oh, he's a communications director, so he's always been in communications.
And, as best as possible, I'm trying to focus on what I can do going forward to be helpful and, let whatever, regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
I do want to move on, but just finally on this. This is really a yes or no question.
Yep.
Carolyn Ellison says you knew that FTX funds were being funneled to Alameda. Did you know that?
I knew that there is an open margin position there, and that involved...
I know, but that's not what I'm asking. If she's in court and you're in court and she's under oath and you're under oath, and you're asked, did you know that these funds were being funneled to Alameda, what is your answer?
I did not know that there is any improper use of customer funds.
You also took
Good answer.
$1 million loan. What was that for?
That was generally for reinvesting in the company. That was not for, consumption. To my knowledge, I have basically nothing left. Basically everything I had was invested in the business. I expect I'm gonna have nothing at the end of this. I think I had $100,000 left in my bank account last I checked, and I think I have, one credit card working with that right now.
Use it to hire me.
What, 32 billion?
Probably 20, but a whole lot more than I do now.
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah, it's been a really humbling fall in a lot of ways.
How do you explain the failure? Was it inattention, arrogance?
It's a good question.
Was it unethical?
Some part.
It was unethical.
Just literal distraction. I really should have spent some time each day taking a step back and saying, what are the most important things here, right? And how do I have oversight of those and make sure that I'm not losing track of those? And frankly, I did a pretty incomplete job at that. I spent a lot less time looking at assets and looking at balances and positions because that's not where revenue came from. And so I wasn't seeing it as a core business driver. Obviously, it was a core risk, and that was a huge mistake of mine. to not think more about that.
You said one of your great talents in a podcast was managing risk. That's obviously wrong.
Well, I think that there is something maybe even deeper wrong there, which was I wasn't even trying. Like, I wasn't.
Or maybe you're just fucking stupid.
Effort trying to manage risk on FTX, and that obviously
That's a
was
stunning
mistake.
admission.
What?
That's a pretty stunning admission.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, what happened, and like if I had been spending an hour a day thinking about risk management on FTX, I don't think that would have happened. I think I stopped working as hard for a bit. You know, honestly, if I look back on myself, I think I got a little cocky, maybe more than a little bit. And I think part of me,
Exactly, didn't have any regulations.
Like we'd made it.
As I said, that was a pretty stunning admission. The whole job of the head of a firm like that is managing risk.
Risk, exactly. And he wanted to. He reached out. He
desperately.
wanted.
He went against the advice of his lawyers. He thanked me at the end. Like I said, we talked for close to 2 hours, and you saw he didn't flinch from the tough questions. But even though he had a hard time at times answering them, and he just wants to speak his mind. Now, one of the reasons he said he wants to speak his mind is he still hopes that in some way he can contribute to the idea of getting some of the depositors' monies back. Now, I asked him, is that delusional?
Because that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and he has no role in FTX right now, but he is facing several investigations at this point, but he wants to tell his side of the story.
I wonder how the people who lost money will respond to this interview, because clearly he struggled to answer a lot of these key questions.
We will see.
Yeah. All right, George, thanks so much.
So he said his lawyers advised him not to do it. Who advised him to do it? Did it on his own? He doesn't have a media person? You need a communications person. I do media consulting. Sam Bankman-Fried. Hit me up. And it's gone. All right, this is the part you guys have all been waiting for. Holy shit. Amazon CEO says company won't take down anti-Semitic film. This is gonna go into our next story, our next little piece of video we're gonna watch. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said Wednesday the company does not have plans to stop selling the anti-Semitic film that gained notoriety recently after Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving tweeted out an Amazon link to it. Pressure has been mounting on Amazon to discontinue sale of the film called Hebrews to N-Words, Wake Up Black America. Since Irving shared the link to the documentary with his millions of Twitter followers in October. The synopsis on Amazon says the film uncovers the true identity of the children of Israel. The Black Israelite conspiracy cult, they are fucking nut jobs. New York Times Deal Book Summit in New York City, Jassy said it is difficult for the company to determine what content crosses the line to where Amazon doesn't make it available to customers. As a retailer of content to hundreds of millions of customers with a lot of different viewpoints, we have to allow access to those viewpoints even if they are objectionable. And they differ from our particular viewpoints, the Times quoted Jassy as saying. Said making decisions about what content to take down is more straightforward in some cases, such as when it actively incites or promotes violence or teaches people to do things like pedophilia. It is a catchy title. Dozens of celebrities, public figures, and also like the fact that it has that word in it draws attention. It was good marketing. Dozens of celebrities, public figures, as well as Jewish organizations and the Nets have called on the company to take down the film or add a disclaimer offering an explanation as to why the documentary and related book are problematic. Amazon told the newspaper earlier this month that it would look into adding a disclaimer on the documentary's main page, but that hasn't happened. Now, I am totally against them taking down the documentary. Would I want Amazon to stop selling Mein Kampf? Fuck no, I don't. I own a copy of Mein Kampf. I don't think it's a textbook like Candace Owens does. I have the neat version that has the, like, it has a historian's preface to it. Preface to it. I said the word earlier. You know I know how to say it. It is a very, because like all along the ways, it has a historian telling you what was going on in history as Hitler was writing it. So it's a very interesting read. I forget what the actual title of it is that has that to it. I don't think Loose Change should come down off of Amazon. But it's also Amazon's decision. They're a DM brings this up all the time in the Discord. After he filed a takedown notice on my video, where I'm asking the furry incel if he masturbates. He kept saying YouTube is a private platform, and I'm like, I didn't violate YouTube's rules, motherfucker. You're the one trying to take down my video. When we made the argument that YouTube is a private platform and they can dictate the rules, what that means is that they own the servers. That we don't have a right to hosting. YouTube, I don't have a right to have YouTube show my stream on their site right now. I understand this. Because YouTube is paying the incredibly expensive fee to host all my videos. So they get to dictate what the rules are. And I have to play by those rules. Just like if I am a show on a radio station, there are multiple people I have to answer to at that radio station as to the content that goes out on their radio station. So I'm against Amazon taking shit down. But then Curiouser asked me about Alex Jones. Like, she said, is Alex Jones somewhere? I thought he was canceled. And I'm like, well, Alex Jones hosts his own show. So Alex Jones has been canceled from YouTube, from Twitter, Twitch. I don't know all the platforms he's actually canceled from. But Alex Jones can still go buy a website and pay for his own web hosting. That's free speech. Just like the Daily Stormer pays for its own web hosting to promote its Nazi bullshit. So speaking of Alex Jones and Nazi bullshit, Alex Jones had Kanye West on his show. TMZ is calling it a mental breakdown, and I guess TMZ has covered enough of these to know. We're only going to watch a small clip, as much as I would have liked to have sat here and watched the entire goddamn Alex Jones interview. I would get a takedown notice because Alex Jones is banned from all of these platforms. Content warning, apparently. Ye is getting ready to say some batshit crazy stuff that's going to surprise even Alex Jones.
I thought, that's right, you're not Hitler, you're not a Nazi.
Coming in hot here. Coming in hot. Yes, Kanye West is not Hitler and not a Nazi. Once again, that's fallacious reasoning by the right-wingers.
Not Hitler, you're not a Nazi, you don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us and you can.
Oh, we cut to fucking American History X. Have you seen the movie? Do you know what this movie is about? I'm amazed they don't call American History X like woke liberal propaganda or some shit.
You can love you know, us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're, you know, what we're pushing with the pornography.
Ooh, why'd you have to show that on, like, could I have gotten a warning for that? I did not know we were going to get that scene. Yikes. Ooh, Twitch, I'm sorry. YouTube, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know they were going to play the whole goddamn thing.
But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good.
Hitler invented highways. Hitler invented highways. Now, the Autobahn was one of the Nazis' crowning achievements. But Hitler did not invent highways, exactly. The Romans, Silk Road. I'm stunned. And they love to take like a kernel of truth because once again, the Autobahn was a crowning achievement of the Nazis. They built several kilometers of the Autobahn. It was one of their works projects. I don't think they actually completed it though, did they? I think that came later. I'm not actually up on the history of the Autobahn. Probably my biggest education on the Autobahn was by Kraftwerk. And I know we're going to have fun at the Autobahn. Fun on the... I'm sorry, horrible of me. Hitler invented highways.
You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one?
Especially Hitler.
Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
The most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
But they did good things, too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. You said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
I feel like the Michael Bluth meme where like what the bag says like dead pigeon or something or dead bird, and he looks inside like, well, I don't know what I expected. Mock's hitting us with the history of the Autobahn. The Autobahn. Few other landmarks represent Germany more than its freeway system. Cologne's Cathedral is distinctively West German, and the TV tower in Berlin is a GDR feat of engineering. But the Autobahn, literally car runway, connects the whole country. Over the decades, it has morphed from a utilitarian piece of national infrastructure to a cultural icon that has spawned artworks, albums, merchandise around the globe, and even the name of an Irish pub. But why has it become so legendary? The Nazis didn't invent the Autobahn. Instead, the idea of constructing motorways connecting Germany's expanding cities after World War I was conceived in the post-war Weimar Republic. The first public road of its kind was completed in 1932. So they didn't even have the idea for this specific road, let alone invent highways in general. So the first public road of this kind was completed in 1932, linking Cologne and Bonn. It still exists today. After Hitler rose to power in 1933, he used the Autobahn for political gain, appointing Fritz Todt as Inspector General of German Road Construction and tasking him with increasing the Autobahn network. Todt was behind the idea, a jobs creation program which, according to Nazi propaganda, helped eradicate unemployment in Germany. Autobahn workers lived in work camps near their construction sites, though often did not come here voluntarily. They were conscripted through the compulsory Reich labor service. That way, they were removed from the unemployment registry. So there is your Autobahn history. Cicero, indeed, Alex Jones was the voice of reason in that video. God damn. In case you guys can't tell, that video was a little ineffable to me. Like, I'm stunned. I'm left speechless. I don't even want to quote any of the things that Kanye said. May I be taken out of context, clipped, violate terms of service. God damn. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. And I knew what I was getting into. I didn't watch the video, but like, Kanye West on Alex Jones praises Hitler. I knew that was all coming. Don't know what I was expecting. Making Alex Jones and Tim Pool seem kind of reasonable. So why didn't Kanye get all mad at Alex Jones for saying he didn't like Nazis? Yeah, it's kind of weird for Alex Jones to say that when the majority of his audience is fucking Nazis. Speaking of Nazis, we're going to hear from one right now.
JustinFREAKIN, the formidable voice in the culture.
Not JustinFREAKIN, no. Matt Walsh. Doing some of his Nazi shit. By the way, the first groups that the Nazis came after in Germany, socialists, the LGBTQ community. Interesting. You work for an organization that loves to attack those two groups.
Here's another update on a story. This is from the Daily Mail as well. It says the Biden administration's non-binary nuclear waste guru was a presenter at a fetish conference in LA weeks after admitting to stealing a woman's suitcase at the Minneapolis St. Paul International.
That's quite the headline. There's a lot of information in that fucking headline. What the hell?
To stealing a woman's suitcase at the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport.
What I found.
Last Saturday, Sam Britton, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition, who could be facing 5 years in prison for the bag theft, presented a seminar titled
Ow! Stop it!
From Calculus to Chemistry. The seminar was held at West End.
Don't try to buy me. You little shit.
Los Angeles, Britain, 34th state on.
She's such a body little thing. I hold her up to my head. She tries to buy my fucking eyebrow. She was just like crawling up into my computer here, like, oh, look what I found. Were you trying to clean down there? Where'd you go? She came in here last night. As I was like taking a little break, I put her up here next to me. And every time I reach down to try to pet her, she'll be looking all cute, and I'll reach down and try to pet her, and it's violence. And one of those times that I did that, she just pops right up and fucking hops over at Smokey and just stops like at Smokey. Come here. Oh shit. She's very loud too. She's very loud. she purring? Purrs so loud. Trixie, say hi, everybody. Stop trying to bite me. And yes, if you're wondering, like, is there an issue with her mouth? Yeah, she's got some, like, we don't know what happened. That's how a lot of the animals get to this house. They have issues with them. She's going to have surgery on her mouth at some point. She's too small right now, so but it doesn't seem to bother her at all because she bites the fuck out of everybody. She didn't like kitten food. She went straight for like the big cat food. But like she doesn't have a lip or some shit. I can't explain. I heard the vet explain it, but I don't know what it meant. Cat. She is wild. She climbs the walls. She fights with everybody. I fucking love her. Okay, anyway. What are you doing, cat? Under the desk. They may have already been banned. Somebody may have already got them. The people watching over on YouTube are usually pretty good on top of things. I don't know who's over there right now. You guys rock. Someone who doesn't rock. Matt Walsh. What a fucking non-binary person stole a handbags in charge of nuclear waste. What, like, facing prison? Like, I'm so fucking confused.
Daily Mail as well. It says the Biden administration's non-binary nuclear waste guru was a presenter at a fetish conference in LA weeks after admitting to stealing a woman's suitcase at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Last Saturday, Sam Britton, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition, who could be facing 5 years in prison for the bag theft, presented a seminar titled Spanking, From Calculus to Chemistry. The seminar was held at Westin Bonaventure Hotel and Suites in Los Angeles, where Britton, 34, stayed on Friday and Saturday night. The event was titled LA Leather Getaway and was sponsored by Claw Corporation, a national leather charity.
Okay.
A national leather charity.
Who cares?
So is this like they donate leather bondage gear?
No, they're probably selling
fans in need. Is that what this is?
They're probably selling the items and then donating to charity.
Nerd has been teaching their physics of kink class at universities and communities events across the country for years, according to their profile on Claw's website. The bio goes on to say they have been active in the kink world since 2013.
Okay.
They host monthly kink parties in their dungeon in Washington, D.C.
Cool.
And estimate that they have spanked over 2,000.
You live in
fights.
sexual anarchy?
I'm regretting even reading this. So he's keeping a body count of the number of asses that he has spanked. And this person was given a position, a high-ranking position, let's not forget, in the Department of Energy. And given, I believe...
Buddy, you guys voted for Donald Trump to be president. Shut the fuck up. You ain't got no room to talk.
Don't quote me on this, the highest security clearance available to somebody in the department.
Okay.
The highest at the very least.
Sutton Apollo, good evening.
Now, we should note that the other update to the story is that he has been placed on leave after this incident with stealing the bag. But that's revealing on a couple of levels because, number one...
Now, I don't know that I don't know the whole story. Did they admit to stealing the bag? Was it a mistake? Did they accidentally pick up the wrong bag? And it just happened to... Apparently, this was like a Balenciaga bag or something. Motherfucker was $3,000.
The bag was stolen, and the police found out about it, and charges were filed weeks ago. This all happened weeks ago. It's not until the public finds out that the Biden administration places this person on leave. But it's also revealing because... So, stealing a woman's bag, which yes, is bad and creepy on many levels, especially because we know why he stole it, was almost certainly to steal the clothes and wear the woman's clothing.
Whoa! I don't know any of the details. I would say the most likely scenario is that it was an accident. We're talking about at an airport, someone accidentally picking up a bag is common. But I don't know the details once again, but neither does Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is speculating. Of course, they're stealing the bag so that they can steal the woman's clothes.
And places this person on leave. But it's also revealing because, so stealing a woman's bag, which yes, is bad and creepy on many levels, especially because we know why he stole it, was almost certainly to steal the clothes and wear the woman's clothing because he's a freak. Yeah, that's bad, but that's what gets him placed on leave. Yeah, the fact that he runs a sex dungeon in Washington, D.C., that's not...
They and no. Who cares if they run a sex dungeon, Matt Walsh?
Not enough to do it? Going and attending, or rather hosting and teaching at fetish classes and giving spanking classes, that's not enough to make you second guess? You Mox. Too fucking logical up in here. The police just didn't contact the Biden administration. They didn't know until the story broke. No, of course not. You know,
nobody would want Matt Walsh in their dungeon.
Sam Britton is certainly not the first deviant fetishist to work in Washington, D.C.
Allow me to tell you about Dennis Hastert, the former Republican Speaker of the House. He's an admitted child molester.
We can certainly say that. He absolutely is not the first. The difference is that he's so open about it. And that we're supposed to celebrate this. And this is what happens when, we are forced, as we talked about a few days ago, to not just affirm someone's self-perceptions and self-identity, as bad as that is, but now we have to go even further, and we are told we have to affirm even someone's fetish, their, sexual deviances and all the rest of it.
Nobody's asking you to affirm anything, motherfucker. You just can't hold that against somebody. But you fucking Matt Walsh, fuck him. He's only ever said one true thing in his life.
JustinFREAKIN, the formidable voice in the culture.
I did indeed call him a Nazi. Hail to the king. What's going on, my friend? Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising. Okay, so at first I hated that character, but after that last boss, throughout the game, I hated that character. But you get to that last boss fight, I'm like, all right, I like this motherfucker. What did Kanye do again? What? I can't keep up with all Kanye's doing. Railing in what? We watched the Kanye thing. You're talking about Alex Jones, right? We just watched it. He said to Core, I'm already going to have to take the VOD of this down and go back and censor something on YouTube because of the Alex Jones clip. Are you telling me there's something worse than what he did on Alex Jones? Because we just watched that. We watched that right before Matt Walsh. Oh, did somebody get hit by the auto mod? I apologize. I don't think it can get worse than what he said, the shit he said on Alex Jones. I would kind of like to go back and play it again, but once again, the funniest one was that he said that the Nazis invented highways. Which is not true at all. Yeah, weed is needed. Weed is needed because I'm getting ready to get called like a pussy soy boy by Madison Cawthorn. Hayes Holiday 2022 World Nazi Tour. Yeah, I wanted to play all of it. I wanted to sit through the whole thing, but I'd get a takedown over it. We watched a TMZ version of the highlights, and like I assume that had to be the craziest parts. That had to be the craziest parts, right? It couldn't have possibly got any crazier than that. I want to try to find the whole thing here. It's only like 2.5 minutes, so please let me have the whole goddamn thing. Okay, well, I guess we get like 1.5 minutes of it. Maybe it was only 1.5 minutes. Maybe I was wrong. So this is outgoing congressperson Madison Cawthorn. He lost re-election. He lost in the primary, didn't he? Madison lost in the primary. He wasn't even in the general. Or am I wrong on this? Time is dilated. Did he lose in the... He lost in the primary. He lost in the primary. That was back in May. Because I was like... I feel like we haven't talked about Madison Cawthorn in a while. Yes, because he lost back in May. But this is his farewell speech on the floor of the House. I saw it labeled as 2.5 hours of toxic masculinity podcast jammed into 2 minutes.
For what purpose does the gentleman from North Carolina seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I seek to address the House for 1 minute.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, it used to be a rite of passage in this country for young men to be punched in the face when they did something stupid. Our nation...
It used to be a rite of passage in this country for young men to be punched in the face when they do something stupid. Sir, in the words of my favorite musical artist, you look like someone who has never been slapped in the fucking mouth.
It used to be a rite of passage in this country for young men to be punched in the face when they did something stupid. Our nation used to believe that there was strength and purpose in taking the hits, learning from your mistakes and growing through the adversity. America is weak. Her sons are sickly and her daughters are decrepit. Our country now faces the consequences of enabling a participation trophy society. We are no longer the United States. We have become the nanny state. Our young men are taught that weakness is strength, that delicacy is desirable, and that being a soft metrosexual is more valuable than training the mind, body, and soul. Social media...
Tadpole, if you're asking about the song that I just quoted, that's The Remedy by Pussifer. Maynard James Keenan from Tool's other band. No, not A Perfect Circle, his other band.
Are taught that weakness is strength, that delicacy is desirable, and that being a soft metrosexual is more valuable than training the mind, body, and soul. Social media has...
Do I still have the picture? Hold on, I haven't had to pull it up in a while. I don't have it like saved under Madison. That's only I've got a picture of Madison Cawthorn here. There we go. I do have it. This guy is going to talk to us about being a metrosexual. Allow me to go back a little bit in his speech.
We've become the nanny state. Our young men are taught that weakness is strength, that delicacy is desirable, and that being a soft metrosexual is more valuable than training the mind, body, and soul. Social media...
This soft metrosexual over here.
...of their will to fight, to rise in a noble manner, square their jaws, and charge once more into the breach of life to defend what they love. So on this precipice of disaster, I ask the young men of this nation a question. Will you sit behind a screen while the storied tales of your forefathers become myth? Or will you stand resolute against the dying light of America's golden age? Will you reclaim your masculinity? Will you become a man to be feared, to be respected, to be looked up to? Or will you let this nation's next generation be its final generation? With that, I yield back.
What the fuck are you talking about? You're gonna tell me about manliness? Can you even grow a fucking beard? Have your balls dropped yet, sir?
You mean we're gonna talk about manliness and the dawn of a new America, and are you gonna stand for masculinity?
Listen to my fucking voice, son. Have you got any hair on your chest? You gonna tell me about masculinity, motherfucker? Yeah, Tucker Carlson, also not a bastion of masculinity. I am far more masculine than either of you fucks. I'll suck dick and wear panties from time to time. Because I'm comfortable in my masculinity. Just like I said to Maskless Moses that one time. Like, you aren't comfortable enough in your masculinity to fuck a man in a dress? I am. Buddy, he didn't know how to respond to that. What'd I say this time? What did I say this time? I guess I will take this one down. I'm mainly concerned about the Alex Jones shit. Wait, can men not be shirtless on Twitch? Is that not a thing? I can't show my titties? No fucking way. But I can show titty bears. I can show titty bears. Where are my teddy bears at? Give me my titty bears. Do bears have like a row of tits like a dog does? Like, do they have like fucking 6 titties, 8 titties? What's a bear's titties look like? Or do they only have 2 titties? How do bear titties work? Why am I asking this shit? Let's Google bear titties. This might be your animal video for the night. No, not bear. Interesting. Interesting search. Can't show that. I can't show that. That's fake. All this is photoshopped. My God, what is wrong with you? Why are there so many people photoshopping breasts on bears? What in the fuck is wrong with you people? I did not get my answer. That bear has a fucking camel toe. What is this? This is insane. I did not get my question answered. I don't even, can I, like, I'm running a risk showing this. This is the kind of shit I'm seeing right now, and I don't like it. Oh my God! and I still didn't get my question answered about how, like, it looks like they have a row of titties from, like, the very few stock photos of an actual bear nursing its cubs. But then again, I did Google bear titties. Once again, it's the Michael Bluth, you know, what did I expect? Well, your animal video isn't coming from there, that's for fucking sure. Let me go over here and find us an animal video. You know, I think I had a good one on Twitch. I think I had a good one on, or not Twitch, Twitter. I think I had a good one saved. Several saved on Facebook over here. I had a really good one on one. Maybe. Ernie clip. Here, like, I'm fucking... As long as we're just riding by the accidentally finds furries. Yes, I did. As long as we're just, like, you know, throwing shit against the wall here. I have this video saved. I don't know what it is. Who knows what's going to happen. Dude doesn't have his pants on.
No! Fuck no! People watch me take shit! These motherfuckers are shit!
Ooh, it seems like the dude is in a women's restroom.
Fuck no! People watch me take shit! These motherfuckers!
Did I just see a ball sack? Motherfucker, this VOD. They'll allow it to stay up on Odyssey.
You see? I should punch you in your fucking face. I really should. You dead ass? You dead ass? You dead ass? You dead ass? I run this shit. You in the fucking you run shit.
And there he assaults somebody. Fuck yeah. Don't ever mess with a group of black women. They will put you in your place.
What? Nigga, where is this talking?
Yeah, I got nuke the VOD. It's all over for this one. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on here. It appears that he was in a women's bathroom. And was trying to peeping Tom. He had his fucking pants off. The text on the video says you get sexually assaulted in Las Vegas and the cops don't do shit. That one don't surprise me because, you know, cops just don't do shit, period. Here we go. Since I'm just scrolling through, like, the, you know, the shit that didn't make it to the show. Play this clip.
Yes. I just wanted to let John know that I got my sweatshirt from his dating website that says dump your liberal boyfriend. And I'm going to be wearing it. And for all the single girls out there, I'm going to be wearing that and encouraging them to get on your website and find themselves a nice conservative man, because conservative men are more successful, classier. They pick up a bill. They open a door. So girls, dump your liberal boyfriend now.
And
honey, I bet that dude that was in the bathroom assaulting those women don't vote for no Democrats.
John will definitely be having you back on very soon to talk about the right stuff. Very curious about how that's doing. Yes.
Hey, ladies, dump your liberal boyfriend. Go to the right stuff. Apparently, they won't let Sam Cedar on. Did I not have an animal video? Oh my god, I thought I saved one just the other day. Oh, here's one. We've played it on the show before, but my god, who can object to this one? Baby hippos. Cute ass baby hippos. I'll continue to play this video on the stream. I will be taking the VOD down on Twitch and YouTube. God, what am I going to do about this on the podcast? A version will go up at some point in time during the night that has relevant shit censored. So if you want to go back and watch any part of the show, it'll be onto YouTube, but I don't know when that'll happen. Tomorrow night is the Friday Night Freak Show. We will be joined by special guest co-host Woke Potato. Woke Potato tomorrow night on the Friday Night Freak Show, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Troll Patrol will be back on Sunday night. Go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. I need to find somebody to raid, don't I? It ain't time for the Satanic Panic yet, so let's find one of our other friends on Twitch. I tried to come in for Fire by Night last week, and nothing cooperated. Perhaps, maybe I will drop by for Fire by Night tonight. That's a possibility, so look out for that. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to head over to F-Bombs for You. Looks like they got some kind of panel going on. See what they're talking about. I might jump on and fucking call some people dumb fucks. Oh yeah, and I'm going to be on the Stonercast on Saturday. I believe it's at 4:20. I'll get you guys the details. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We will see you tomorrow night on the Friday Night Freak Show with special guest co-host Woke Potato.